I'd like to welcome to the stage Kevin Gaskell.
Good morning. Morning. I believe that people are incredible. I believe that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. In our businesses, we talk about dreams. We talk about creating something that's extraordinary. In our businesses, we don't say to people, hey, come and help us find another 1% market share or another 3% return on net assets, because you know what? 99% of the people who work in our companies don't know what that means. What we say is, come with us and build something that's incredible. Let's build something that we can look back on and say, hey, look what we did. Look what we built. Look what we created together. We call it a legacy, yes, but it's more about emotion. It's about engaging people, inspiring people, and giving them the opportunity to create something that they enjoy. It needs to be fun. It's about passion. Yes, you've just heard from Steve. I've walked to the North Pole and the South Pole. Yeah. Why? Not so I could stand here and tell you about it, but because my little sister died of cancer. And I wanted to do something that would make a difference to other people. And when I spoke to the consultant, I said, would anything have made a difference? And she said, you know, if we'd have had a monoclonal antibody unit, and I said, great, what's that? Why don't you have one? We don't have the money. I thought, how do we do that? How do we raise enough money to do that? I told a friend of mine, a guy called Pete Goss, very famous sailor, and Pete said, hey, Kev, I'm going to sail to the North Pole. For those who don't know, the North Pole is just a frozen ocean. I said, Pete, how are you going to do that? This is a guy who did the Vendée round the world single-handed race. So he's a serious sailor. How are you going to do that? You're going to wait for it to melt? He said, no, I'm going to build a land yacht. And so I got to walk there first and work out what the land's like. He said, I need a team. Do you want to come? And I thought, that's it. That's what we'll do. So we walked to the North Pole, and then, well, if you've done one, you might as well do both. So we went to the South Pole, and we raised the money, and we built the Cancer Treatment Center. Why am I telling you that story? 5 days into walking to the North Pole. It's about minus 35. You're on frozen ice. It's moving around. We're pulling sledges that weigh anywhere between 80 and 100 kilos. And we get up in the morning, and we take our Garmin, our GPS out, and we work out where we are, and we're further away from the pole than when we started. We're going backwards because the ice is moving against us. What do? Do you get upset? Or do you look inside yourself and say, you know what? We always knew it was going to be tough. Now we dig in. Now we just get on with it. And it's the same in business. You're going to have bad days in business. It's not always easy. What do? Do you give up? No. If you have the passion, you look inside yourself, you share the dream, and you move on. I was asked to run Porsche when I was very young. Why did they ask me to run it? Simple. Nobody else wanted to do it. We'd lost 90% of our sales, 9-0. We were losing 20% on sales. Out of 32 brands in the marketplace in customer satisfaction, we were number 32. Can't get any lower. We had 3 years unsold new car inventory sitting in fields. Porsches are not like fine red wine. They do not improve by sitting around. Just when you think it can't get any worse, they make you managing director. We took that business to pieces because we asked ourselves, are we going to be the people behind the steering wheel of this great brand when it goes off the road? No. I'd been in that company 5 years at that point. I'd seen it going wrong. I wasn't leading it. I was asked to lead it. A week after I took over, I took half the company and I made them redundant. Half the entire business. I laid off half of my friends. I knew them, I knew their wives, their husbands, their children, I knew their dogs. gone. And I swore to myself that I would never be in a business again where we allowed it to get to that point, where creeping complacency meant we got to that point. And we believe we owed it to everybody who'd been in the team to rebuild that company. We took it to pieces. We looked at every part of that company and we changed it. We went out and changed the way that our processes work. We changed the way we marketed the business. We changed the way we dealt with customers. We changed every part of the company. I said to the team, where should we be? What does success look like? And somebody said, you know what? It's about customer satisfaction. We should be in the top half. 32 brands. Somebody said, why not the top 5? And then one guy, a guy called Adrian Hallmark, who today is the chairman and CEO of Bentley, said, you know what, Kev, we should be number 1. I said, Ad, you're right. We should be number 1. And that is what we set ourselves out to achieve. Everything that we then did in the business was about understanding the customer, about changing the way we dealt with the customer. The words we used were world-class service. We went backstage at hotels, we went backstage at airlines, we went backstage at technology businesses. We went and looked at how great companies ran. We stole every idea we could find and we pulled them back into Porsche. We redesigned our business. In 4 years, we went from number 32 in customer satisfaction to number 1. We were number 1 2 years in a row. We went from losing 20% on sales to making 20% on sales. We became the most profitable car company in the market. We went from having a 3-year inventory to having a 1-year forward order bank. With the same team of people. It was about daring to dream and thinking differently. From there I was asked, we love what you did there, Kev, would you please come and run BMW? Bigger challenge, different kind of business, 7 billion turnover, 7,000 people. When I walked in, they gave me a business plan. They said, hey, we love what you did at Porsche, but you know what, that was a bit rocky. This is a massive cash generator. BMW GB, second biggest cash generator in the BMW world. We love what you did at Porsche, but whatever you do, don't knock this one off the rails. Gave me a plan. The plan was to grow the business at 4% per annum. When I went around and talked to the dealers and talked to the customers, talked to my own staff, we were losing our way. We'd become a fashion brand. People were buying a badge. They'd lost sight of the fact that we were a fantastic German engineering business. We were taking cost out of the business in the wrong places. We were cheapening the product. Our service was getting less. So we challenged ourselves to think in a different way. Took the business to pieces, put it back together. In 4 years, instead of growing that business at 4% per annum, we grew that business by 80%. We grew operating profit by 500%. This was in a business that people thought was doing very well. My German board for the first 2 years fought me. Every time we had what they called a crazy idea, they fought me. About 2 years in, it changed. As they saw the numbers going, it changed. Then they took all our crazy ideas and they ran them through the world. And that's great. But it is about being brave enough to make that change. I believe that there is a secret to long-term success. It is not about how good you are. It absolutely is about how good you want to be, and then critically, it's about using a structured approach. This stuff doesn't just happen. You don't sprinkle pixie dust or wave a magic wand. This is about having a structured approach to transforming your business. I break it down to 3 pieces. The first is commit. Make a decision that you're really going to build something that's extraordinary. The second is connect. You need all of the team to engage with this. We're trying to inspire our teams. You are leaders, but you won't do this alone. You've got to bring the team with you. That's the connect piece, making sure people understand how they play a part. Because the third piece is create, and that is create magic. Create magic. There's nothing more fun than being successful. But that comes by doing the first 2 pieces. It starts with a commit. That's not commit. That is absolutely commit. Are we going to do this thing or are we not? You just heard me say, walk to the North Pole. If you get on that ice and you're not committed and prepared, it's not going to end well. You need to be absolutely committed to achieving that goal. It's the same in business. What is your goal? What is your vision of success? Are you committed to it? I say to people in our teams, if you're not, if this is not your dream, then go find your own. The world is full of opportunity. If this isn't what you do, don't stay here. Don't. Go find your dream. Be brave. Go out there and have fun. Life's very short. Go out and enjoy it. Over and over, I get told, Kev, digitization, that's our challenge. I say, guys, digitization is one of the biggest opportunities that there's ever been in business. The last 20 years have seen a transformation of business opportunities through digitization. Now you can be a global brand from your bedroom. It's a fantastic opportunity. Within our businesses, we work so hard to maintain the spark, the energy of looking for new opportunities, of driving digitization, of creating a business behind the idea. I believe that digitization gives us more opportunities than we've ever seen before. We employ that in our businesses. It's a great quote that sales fixes everything. Is that what you're driving for in your business? Guy Kawasaki, very famous marketeer. Apple marketeer. Well, a less famous guy said, only if it makes a profit. I work on the basis that we're in business to make a profit. But we don't focus on that. We focus on getting better. If we get better, bigger will come. Bigger comes and profit comes. So everything we do in our businesses recognizes that profit is key, but we focus on the customer. It's about thinking differently. It's about saying, you know, have a healthy disregard for the impossible. Impossible is just a word. I get asked these days to go and invest in businesses or go and fix companies. And when I walk in, I'll often meet the team and say, what's your plan for next year? We've got a business plan. Show me the business plan. Bob, get the business plan. Bob goes off, brings the business plan. There's the business plan. Fantastic. When did you last read it? Read it. It's there. It's the budget. What does it say? Well, it says we're going to grow at 3%. I said, great, 3%. Market's 3%. I said, let me give you a challenge. You're having a tough time. Yeah, we're having a really tough time, you know. World's changed, digitization, new competitors. So, right, let me give you a challenge. Forget the budget. Forget that. Don't grow this business at 3% next year. How would you grow it at 30%? And they look at me and say, Kev, you're crazy. I said, no, seriously, how could you grow it? You know, I said, okay, all right, look, I'll make it easy for you. Forget 30%. How would you grow it at 300%? And they say, that's crazy. That's impossible. I say, it's not impossible. I've got 2 companies in my current portfolio that have grown at 400% last year. 400%. And they're not startups. And they say, how'd you do that? I said, well, how would you do it? Imagine you had all the resources that you wanted. Imagine cash was not a constraint. People was not a constraint. You know, take the constraints away. Most limitations in this world are self-imposed. You know, people put them on themselves. I can't because. If I had £1 for every time somebody said to me, oh, I'd love to walk to the North Pole, but what? If this fat old guy can do it, anybody can do it. It's about wanting to do it. It's about committing to doing it. So how would we grow this business at 300%? And we kick the ideas around. And we start to laugh. And people have crazy ideas. And they put them on the wall. Put them on the wall. Put them on the wall. We write these things up. Crazy ideas. What if we did this? Yeah, what if we did that? What if we did this? What if we did that? I did this recently with a global drinks manufacturer, soft drinks and alcoholic drinks. We played this game, had 100 of their managers in the room. We played this game. How would you grow this business at 300%? Oh, that's crazy. Okay, let's play. By the time we'd spent 2 hours and they'd listed all of the limitations, and I said to them, which of these limitations are not under your control? They said, actually, they're all under our control, aren't they? Yes, they are. So what are you going to do about it? And this is the way we change thinking. This is the way we say, let's just imagine anything is possible. Let me give you an example. This is one of my current companies. We call it the Data Support Agency. Data is becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger issue, and you see it every day in the press, whether it's Facebook or whether it's British Airways or whether it's another brand damaged by hacking attack. You know what? Those big companies have got data protection officers and all that stuff. What if you're an SME? What if you employ between 1 and 50 employees? You don't have a data protection officer. What do you do? And I looked at this with a lady who had her own business. She had a business which was called Excel Sales, and we looked at our own business. And our own business was selling very high quality sales leads. So many of our customers were financial services or property services or similar, and we would go out and we'd get them an appointment with a CEO to close a deal. And we were expensive. It was 250 quid to get a lead, but the typical return on that was £25,000 for our customers. So it was quite a nice business. But what was clear was that the data changes, data protection, GDPR, was going to make life more difficult for us and certainly more difficult for our customers because they didn't know what to do about it. So dare to dream. Meet Nicola. Nicola is the CEO of that business, and Nicola said, you know what? We need to look at the world differently. We need to be brave enough to say there's a better way of doing this. There's a different way to do this. There's a different model out there that we can use. So we dare to dream. Imagine there's no limitations of resource, of cash, of people. Let's kick it round. Let's sit down and invent a business from scratch. Because we've got no limitations. We can do whatever we like. Taking away the limitations, we can do anything. So our team sat down. We went through it. We dared to dream. We looked at what the opportunities were in the market. GDPR was coming. Yes, but it's only one mark in the sand. The need for data protection is growing and growing and growing. GDPR was launched 25th of May. Well, it wasn't, it was already law, but it became necessary to comply from 25th of May. We said most of our customers don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do it. They know they have to, but they don't know how to do it. Well, why don't we take the view that we should help them by cannibalizing our own business? By stopping using the data, becoming experts in how to apply the data. Well, what do SMEs do at the minute? Well, you can go out and you get a consultant, or you can employ somebody, or you can do nothing. That's not going to work very well. Or what? Where is the easy solution here? What we said is, or you could do something else. We could provide compliance as a service. How do you do that? Nobody's ever done it before. Well, let's imagine you start with nothing. Let's imagine you can create a business from nothing. And that's what we did. We created a whole new world that nobody had considered before. We've all heard of software as a service. Well, we now sell compliance as a service. Never done before. Here it is. And you know, the beauty of that is that we can use digitization, digital technology, to provide technical support. But then we underpin that with highly qualified staff. So we hold your hand through the process. We help people get through compliance and then maintain compliance. And then they have a dashboard that shows them where they're compliant and where they're not compliant. What do? We looked at it from the other end. We looked at it from the end of the consumer. What is it they need? Get better and bigger will come. So we're now 5 months old. We're now the UK's #1 provider of GDPR support. These big brands here are now taking our product and running it out through their customer base. Why? Because we can't afford the marketing. Remember what I said about take away the limitations? We can't afford that marketing, so what do? Well, in the real world, there are limitations, so let's think of a way around it. Well, we think of a way around it. We get these big boys to take our product and sell it. So how do you take away your limitations? What is it that you need to do so that you're not limited by cash or people or whatever it is? Most companies will get as far as conceptualizing. We'll think about it. But then stuff happens. Then it's about dealing with the F word. What's the F word? What do you think the F word is? Fear. Fear of failure. There's 2 F words. Fear, yeah. Most companies get to the point where, you know what, whoa, actually, yeah, we thought about it, but you know what? We're kind of rumbling along at 3%. Tomorrow looks like today plus 3%. It's okay. Well, it's not actually. It's not. Anybody ever jumped out of an aeroplane? What did you feel like before you jumped out the first time? Apprehensive. And the second time? Excited, exactly. This guy here, before he jumped out the first time, was terrified. This guy didn't sleep for a week before he jumped out the first time. This guy's wife said to him, "You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this." And this guy said, "Yeah, I do. My kids are doing it. I've got to do it." This guy's face was whiter than this. This guy's son said to him before he jumped out the first time, hey, what's the worst that can happen?" And then his son rolled out of the aeroplane and disappeared. And this guy thought, "Oh my God, I've just seen my son kill himself." No, of course I haven't. He's done this hundreds of times. It took me 35 jumps before I realized how much fun this is. If you've never done skydiving, go do it. It's great fun. Why is it big news when skydivers get killed? Because they don't get killed very often. Even if we don't pull the parachute, it pulls itself. It's great. But the thing about skydiving is there's a massive difference between standing on the edge of that plane and jumping out. Because once you're out, you're out. You are not going back in. No matter how much you want to, that pilot is not going to come and get you. Now you're flying. You're flying. You're enjoying the process. Wow, it's just the most incredible feeling. It's about recognizing if you're going to change your company, it's the same. Be brave. Get to the edge and then step out. But put a parachute on first. That always helps. The parachute is have the process. Understand there is a process to this. But then you've got to get out of the plane. Then, it's like eating a frog. You know what they say about eating a frog? If you're going to eat a frog, don't look at it for too long. Does not get any more appetizing. Now you've got to get on with it. Now you've got to move fast. You've got to learn fast. Now you're looking for opportunity share. It's different than market share. When we turned Excel Sales into the data support agency, we weren't looking for market share. We were looking for a whole new opportunity. And the further you look into the distance, the fewer competitors there are, because most people don't look that far. They don't think that far. So now it's about getting on with it, moving fast, learning fast. But you've got to bring the team with you. You can't do this alone. The team are emotional. We are humans. We are emotional. People want to aspire to achieve something extraordinary. So what we do is we say, let's paint a picture of where we're going. What is it we're going to achieve? And that's where we start. We paint that picture, we start there, and we work back to here. So if I start there and work back to here, that's a straight line. But if I start here and try to get there, well, the market changes, Brexit happens, technology changes, legislation, and before I know it, I'm zigzagging around all over. No. Start there and work back to here. That is a straight line. We paint the picture of what that success looks like. We draw it, we talk about it. We recognize what it is. You know, one of the biggest learnings we had at Porsche? We realized after a while that we weren't selling transport. We weren't selling transportation. You don't need one of these to go to Tesco. You don't need one of these to take the kids to school. I can tell you from experience, if you take the kids to school in one of those, you don't get out of the playground anyway because you're covered by kids. That's by the by. We weren't selling transport. We were selling an experience. People wanted to affiliate themselves with this wonderful brand, with the heritage, with the luxury, with the service. And so the way that we transformed this business was recognizing it was about service. It was about meeting the clients, making it so that it is an experience. People will pay for that. Make it special. When you make it special, though, you need to think about it in every dimension. You describe world class, describe it in 3 dimensions. If I came into your business tomorrow, what would I see? Would you look like a world-class business? Do you present yourselves as a world-class business? I'll give you an example. About 3 years ago, I was asked to fix a boat company, built big boats. And our least expensive boat was about £500,000. Our most expensive was about 5 million quid. And the banks own the business, and banks don't like owning businesses, not what they do. And they said, Kev, we think this is kind of like Porsche. Could you go and have a look at it for us, please? So I went to this company. The business had made losses for 10 years. They had gone through 13 rounds of redundancy. You can imagine what the morale was like in that company. I went to meet the CEO. I made an appointment to meet him at 10 o'clock in the morning. I turned up. Oh, that's a shame. I'll have that one. Oh, no, they're all tied together. Okay, I wanted a chair. I turned up at 9 o'clock. I said to reception, I'm here to see Alistair. Doesn't matter, you don't know him. I'm here to see Alistair. And she said, oh, he's not in yet. He doesn't get in till about 9:30. Okay? We're losing money. Business is going bust. CEO doesn't get in till 9:30. Okay. I said, all right, well, I'll just sit here and I'll wait. So I sat in reception. What am I actually doing? What am I actually doing? I'm watching. But what else am I doing? I'm listening. So this lady, lovely, called Anita, the phone rang, she picked the phone up and she said, hello, no, he's not in yet. No, he never gets in before 9:30. Yep, yeah, I know you haven't been paid. We've got no money. Yep, yeah, no, you can ring later, you can ring back tomorrow. The answer will be the same, we've got no money. All right, thanks, bye. Wow. So I went up to her, I said, hello, Anita. I said, do you enjoy working here? She said, no, I hate it. I said, why do you hate it? She said, I work in HR. I love working in HR, but they always put me on reception. She had a big hole in her cardigan. She said, they always put me on reception. I said, why do they put you on reception? She said, well, I don't know, nobody else wants to do it because we always get angry customers. I said, okay. So what was I seeing? What was I hearing? Ultimately, what was I feeling? I was feeling this was a business that had lost its way, lost its heart, lost its passion. I joined that company as CEO. I worked there for 14 months. In 14 months, we went from loss to profit. We made a profit. We started trading profitably. Business got sold. What did we do differently? We invited the team of 1,100 boat builders. I don't know a thing about building boats. I don't know anything about boats. 1,100 boat builders to share the dream. And I said to them, what is your dream? And they said, our dream is to build the best motor yachts in the market. I said, great, fantastic, let's do it. We changed everything. Everything. They knew how to do it. They knew what they wanted to do. In 14 months, we got to profit. So when we describe world class, it's about thinking of that in 3 dimensions. If you've got friends here who you know, go visit each other's company. Go be honest. Because, if you're the CEO of a business and you walk, when you're going to visit one of your own companies, they know you're coming, so it gets a tidy, doesn't it? It's like they say, the Queen thinks the world smells of fresh paint. People know she's coming, I guess. So it's not about what happens when the royal visit happens. It is, what is it in the way that you present your business, in what I see, what I hear, what I feel, that says you're world class? There's no excuse for not being world class. No excuse. Why should you not be better than everybody at what you do? There's no reason. It's about the commitment. In our businesses, we paint that vision of success. We make it simple. Underneath that, we have the blocks that we're going to work on. Never more than 6. 5 here. These are just generic. Never more than 6. These are the things we're going to work on. Underneath that, we have a list of actions. Then we reduce them. We only focus on the top 25%. The rest is noise. You'll never get to it. Don't even try. It's just more emails, more noise. Just focus on the top 25%. But then deliver them. Deliver them. Consolidate them in the business. Make them real. Let people see the changes. The reason we do this, it's so that we've got an aligned set of objectives. Why do we do that? Because we want the team to know how they are going to make a difference. This is about inspiring the team to make a difference. If you want to get people to do a good job, give them a good job to do. It's about letting people see where they make a difference. We've all heard the stories, the car cleaner. The car cleaner in our businesses, in our motor businesses, is one of the most important people. It's the first thing you see. Is my car clean? You take it in for a service, it comes back. You have no idea what was done under the bonnet, but if it's nice and clean, it smells fresh, got it. Everybody has a job to do in that business. What we want to do, as with my boat builders, is provoke them. Be creative. What are we going to do differently, guys? Come on, you know how to build boats. I don't. What do you need? What are we going to do differently? Imagine we had an unlimited resource. What would we do differently? We made some big decisions. That boat company, we made some big decisions. We closed down a factory that the previous owners had just spent £15 million building, and it didn't work. Closed it down. Massive decision. But we didn't need it. We were trying to use it. It wasn't working. So what is it that you need to make it special? It is about provoking that creativity. You will never outspend your competitors. Never. You spend, they spend. Somebody else spends more, and before you know it, you have an escalating arms race of spend. You'll never outspend your competitors. So we don't try. What we try to do is outthink them. That's the difference. They say everybody is 5% genius, at least 5% genius. The really smart ones are 15, 20% geniuses. And we have people in our business, the dyslexics, the people with that, they're 20% genius because they think differently. 2 of my CEOs are acutely dyslexic, but man, are they creative, man, are they bright. And they come at things in a different way. It's just great. So we don't try and outspend, we try and outthink. If everybody is 5% genius, then for every 20 people, I get a complete genius. So here, that's 1 genius, 2 geniuses, 3 geniuses. Actually, not sure about you lot. But, you know, for every 20 people, I get a complete genius. My job as a leader is not to be a genius. My job as a leader is to be a genius creator. That's the difference. It's about giving away authority, giving away accountability, giving people the opportunity to make a difference. If you want people to do a great job, give them a great job to do. We invite them to think. I don't believe in suggestion schemes. I don't have suggestion schemes. You know, you give us a good idea, you get £100 Marks and Sparks voucher. No, sorry. When I employ you, I employ all of you, and that includes the top 10%. So bring that to work with you in the morning. And use it. Use it. And I will share the benefits with you. In every one of our businesses, we create a staff equity pool, and we really do give money away. The first business I built after leaving BMW was called Epics. And it went very well, and we sold it for a lot of money. And I went around to the software engineers who joined us in the early days, and I gave them a check for 3 million quid each. Whoa, you get their attention. They almost stop typing and take their earplugs out for a minute. So I absolutely believe in sharing it. But creativity, that comes with a job. I expect you to be creative. So we invite people to share their ideas. We use super sophisticated management techniques like this. This is a big sheet of brown paper. This is in one of our companies. And what we do is we invite people to put their ideas on here. Now, they know what the plan is because we've discussed it. We've talked about it. We talk about it openly. We don't have secrets. There's no point. One version of the truth in the business. There's one version of the truth. So put your ideas on here. What we do differently is we don't hold our board meetings hidden away in the boardroom. Yeah, sometimes we do some up there. But we come down here and stand in front of this. And we talk to the team. So if this is your idea, madam, we would say, come and join the board. What's your name? I can't hear you. Catherine. We say, Catherine, come and join the board. So Catherine comes and joins the board. And we talk about Catherine's idea for improving the way that we fit the timber in the boats. And it goes all the way across into a project. Catherine goes home at night and says, you know what I did today? I was in the board today. The board were listening to me because I had this idea. Fantastic. In our world, that inspires people far more than saying, thank you for your idea, here's 100 quid, oh, the idea didn't go anywhere. Now, of course, sometimes we have ideas that don't make it all the way across the board. Of course we do. But we still thank people, we discuss it with them, they understand why it doesn't go. So it's about inviting the whole team to help us to build something that's special. But then, remember what I said about eating the frog? You've got to get on with it. We don't build 3-year business plans. Actually, we do. I'm telling a lie because the investors demand it. We don't work with 3-year business plans. 3 years, long time. What's a subset of 3 years? Well, 1 year. What's a subset of 1 year? 6 months. So what we do is we say, that's not going to work for us. That's not going to work for us. We'd rather have something that's slightly different. So we have a 1,000-day plan. So we build our business in 1,000 days. 1,000 days. This is a real picture from another of my businesses. And you can see the number there is 775. What do you think that number's going to be tomorrow? 774. And the day after, 773. Told you it wasn't highfalutin technology. But what it does is it gets people moving quickly. People start talking in days. We run our projects in 50 days. And then we do another thing for 50 days, another 50 days, because people see progress. If I gave you a 687-day project, people lose track about day 49. So we break it down to 50 days. Yes, of course it's part of a bigger, but Let's understand what we're going to do in 50 days, and the next, and the next, and the next. And it gets the energy up. It gets the pace up. We move quickly. What happens is we have one guy, meet Andrew. This is Andrew, whose job it is to make sure that these plans are in place. Because this is the backbone of the company. I talk about inspiration, I talk about dreaming, but at the same time we've got to deliver. And so we take those dreams, those inspirations, and we deliver them as projects. This is a tech company I got in South Africa. And it's the same process. These guys are techies, so you can see their board is rather more complicated because they're techies. And we work it through the business. Meet Jake. This is Jake in one of our businesses. And you may be able to see on his chest, it says CEO. Jake is not the Chief Executive Officer. Jake is, for this month, the Chief Energy Officer. So Jake's job is to keep the energy up in the office. So he's been given a little budget, and he does fun things, and we get the energy up. And in his month, he ran a competition within the teams, and they doubled the productivity in the office. The prize, 1 Mars bar. 1 Mars bar, shared between 5 people. See? Nobody can say I'm not generous. So it's not about financial reward. The financial reward comes anyway, because we will build a great company. It is about maintaining that inspiration. This is another business I have. This is in South Africa. This is a marketing company. And this is an interesting business because this was one of the ones that grew at 400% last year. So this business is now about 1,600 days old. It's solid. It's established. We have big customers. And what happened was the CEO said, I've stopped growing. I've stopped growing. I need somebody to help me come and rethink. CEO is a lady, very, very smart, very creative lady. And she asked me and another of the non-execs, could we go and spend a day with her and the team? And we kicked it around and we talked about what's possible. And I said, Lindy, dream. Where would you like to get? She said, you know, for the stuff we do, we work a lot on communication of health and safety marketing. And she said, I'd like to get into the mining sector, mining. Big business in South Africa. She said, I don't know how to get there. She said, if I could just get in there, I don't know how to get there. So we kicked it round. We imagined what we could do to get into these big Rio Tinto massive companies. And we came up with an idea, which is we'd do an academic survey of health and safety issues within the sector. We'd get to their biggest convention, we'd present it, and we'd get invited to go and talk to them. That's what we did. We appointed a guy doing a PhD to do this survey for us. We did the research, we prepared a white paper, we presented it, and we've got now new clients in the mining sector. Never had them before. Net effect, the business grew at 400% last year. It's a new opportunity. It wasn't somewhere we'd ever looked. What happened? Meet Lindy. Lindy ended up as one of the South African finalists in Entrepreneur of the Year. She didn't win, sadly, but you know what? She's very young. She's got plenty of time ahead to go on and win that competition. It's about thinking differently, rebuilding the business from the inside, understanding what is possible. These are our 1,000-day plans. This is what it looks like. This is how simple it is. This is it. This is a 1,000-day plan. That's what we're going to do. These are the pieces we're working on. These are what we're going to achieve in each of those sectors. This is not complicated stuff. I told you it's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be, and then having a structured approach. But then absolutely implementing it in the business. We make it part of the everyday activity. This is replicated throughout the business. You'll see people writing on it, have it on their desks, they have it as screensavers. It's everywhere. This is what we're going to do. And about 500 days into the 1,000 days, we review it, and you know what? We change it, because the world's changed. We don't change the objective, but we're not dogmatic enough to focus, oh, no, this is what, no, let's keep it real. This is about moving quickly. The reason we do that is to engage the team. People need to understand that they are part of this process. This is the create. Create magic. Have fun doing what we do. Got to remember that digitization, physical businesses, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what they are. It's not whether businesses are B2B, B2C, digitized, or brick. Businesses are H to H. Human to human. We need to make sure everybody in our business understands that they play a part in dealing with the customer, because that is what brings the customer back. So we make sure everyone in our business understands what we're providing and who we're providing it to. At the end of the day, everybody has their part to play. There's no such business, no such person in business as an onlyer. He's only a car cleaner. She's only a sales director. She's only a CEO. No such thing. Everyone has their role to play. This was the boat company, Fairline. We had no money. We had none. And I said to the team, I want you to give me something that allows us to reset the future of the brand. I said to Andy, the design director, Andy, design me a new boat. And he said, okay, what's the brief? I said, the brief's easy. 3 letters. S, E, X. I said, that's a brief. Give me some sex. Give me something that people go, wow, wow. Okay, off he went. He came back, he said, what's the budget? I said, I haven't got one. He said, no, listen, I can do this. It's going to cost you 5 million quid. I said, I ain't got 5 million quid, Andy. And the guy at the back, Tom, said, Kev, I got another way we could do this. What's that, Tom? He said, we could do it with CGI. I said, great, what's CGI? He said, computer graphics, idiot. I said, sorry? Computer-generated imagery. I said, that's what I thought you said. I said, what's that? He said, we build it in the computer. It looks real. I said, the cost? He said, well, about £25,000. I said, do it. Just do it. So we created this new boat. And you'll find it on YouTube. It's called the Fairline Esprit. And it was about the future of the brand. And it was sexy. And it was adventurous. And because we were never going to build it, we could do anything we wanted. We could have flown it to the moon if we wanted. But we created it with environmentally friendly engines and recyclable materials, and. I said to this team, make the boat show special. So we redesigned our boat show stand. Have you ever been to the National Boat Show? It's a big old thing. Under those stairs, we built a video cinema where we showed the future of Fairline, the Esprit. We played games with the old boats we had. We painted them in crazy colors. We covered them in flags and revealed them. And then the following day, we revealed them again. The press turned up again. Oh, it's the same boat, but we'll take it. And then Ollie, one of the guys at the back, Ollie, the marketing director, said, hey, Kev, I know the AV team at Excel. This is at Excel. I said, yeah, and? He said, just watch. So around Excel, our screen's as big as this. Every time any one of our competitors was revealing a boat, our Fairline Esprit was going on behind it. Boom, 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 massive noise. So we guerrilla marketed the National Boat Show. Net result, we outsold our competitors 2-1. We had nothing new to sell. Don't outspend, outthink. Give people the opportunity to make a difference. What we're trying to do is create leaders at every level in the organization. Anybody here ever been to the South Pole? I know 2 people in the room who have, and I'm one of them. Well, I'll save you a lot of time and money. It looks like that. It's flat. That's it. It's very, very cold. Our coldest day down there was about -48, -50 centigrade, and then you get wind chill on top. Put that in perspective. Your freezer at home is -18. We were in -50. And for those who ask me the same question, oh, but it's warm inside the tent. No, it's not. We don't have heaters. It's about minus 40 inside the tent, but there's no wind. Point is this. You can see there's nothing to line up on. So the guy at the front, we break every hour. We take on some fuel, some food and some liquids, and then we walk for another hour. You see the guy at the front, he takes his bearing, he puts his Garmin away, he puts his GPS away, off he goes. What's he line up on? Off he goes. We walk in a single file. For the next hour, I'm at the back. So what do? I take a picture, cha-chunk. I put my camera away, put my gloves back on, can't feel my hands on my feet. I ski across behind the other guys. Off they go. I'm now behind them. They've gone 50 meters. I'm joining. Who's leading that? Who's guiding that team? Who's telling that team which direction to go? Hands up those who think it's the guy at the front. Hands up those who think it's the guy at the back. The clue's in the fact, at the back, at the back, at the back. The point is, the guy at the front can't see. He's got his head down, he's pulling, right? He's walking. And what happens is we all walk left or right. The guy at the back, though, can see the lines curving, and he can call it. Back, left a bit, right a bit. Try and zigzag our way to the South Pole. It's the same in business. Set the direction, then let the team go. Let them go. Stand back. Let them go. And when they get offline a little bit, nudge them back on. Nudge them back on. But let the team go. Let the leaders go. And you know what? Sometimes it goes wrong. True. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's an opportunity to learn. Back off a little bit, reset, and go again. Doesn't matter. If everything's under control, you're not going fast enough. So make a little mistake, doesn't matter, back off and go again. The trick is to catch people in, not catch people out. What we do is when it goes right, we make a noise. We say thank you. We don't throw money at it, we just say thank you. Great job, thank you. When it goes wrong, we have a quiet conversation. Let's understand why it went wrong. We don't catch people out. Everything I've spoken about for the last 45 minutes has been about inviting people to be creative, inviting people to contribute to where the business is going. And by doing that, we get the best of everybody. If I then slap them down when it goes wrong, say, whoa, do it yourself then, Kev. No. So when it goes wrong, it's a quiet conversation. It is about catching people in, not catching people out. At the end of the day, our job, your job as leaders, is to create leaders throughout your team, to give them the opportunity and the accountability to be champions, to win, to go out and create something that's extraordinary. By doing that, you build memories, you build a legacy, you build pride. We inspire people to go to the next level. I've been lucky enough to work with some great teams. We have a lot of fun going out and achieving extraordinary results that we never believed we would achieve, but we dared to dream that we could. By doing that, my job has been to let the team believe that I believe it, and then inspire them to go out and achieve it. What that's done is build some great companies, build some great brands, and we've had a lot of fun along the way. I wish you every success in building your companies and having fun along the way, and thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.